Welcome to the Beyond the Vines podcast, where I interview local business owners in Sonoma County to highlight small business and grow our community. I'm your host, Amy Ehlers, a mom, realtor, and Sonoma County native, and I'm excited to connect you to some amazing people in this beautiful area that we call home. Welcome back to the Beyond the Vines podcast. I just want to thank you again so much for listening and for supporting small business in Sonoma County. I am here today with Caitlin Spirlock with Luma Front Yard Farming. I am so excited for this episode because I literally know nothing about this subject. I'm good at keeping my indoor plants alive. I am not good at gardening whatsoever. My kids are, my husband is. I have no skills. So the fact that we are here talking about this today makes me so excited. I'm hoping I can pick up some knowledge that I can bring back to you. So with that being said, welcome, Caitlin. Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I am really, I literally know nothing about this topic at all. So I am very excited. And you have some really exciting different things coming on too that I have never even heard of. So this is very cool. So thanks for joining us. But first, when getting started, can you tell us about the inspiration behind starting Luma Front Yard Farming and what motivated you to kind of create this concept for our community?
So really it was started because I'm a home gardener and I was watching, what's happening in my own soil and seeing after years and years of planting and using the same raised beds or my fruit trees, seeing that the soil was really depleted and dusty and dry.
Wow.
And not holding on to any moisture. And there was no life living in it.
And you could see it and you noticed it.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I was like, there must be something better.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing this right.
Right.
And I had chickens and, so it was a whole ecosystem that I was trying to build in my own garden. And then I came across Kiss the Ground, which if no one's heard of that you definitely should watch Kiss the Ground film.
It's a show or a movie?
It's a movie on Netflix.
Oh, okay. I definitely want to watch that.
And then they just came out with one that I'm actually trying to get in our local theater called Common Ground.
Oh.
Which is specifically about the food industry and how we all need to work together to have healthy soil, to help the planet, and it trickles down to us.
That's amazing.
So that's how I came across regenerative farming.
Right.
Was like, how do I compost? How do I use this chicken manure that I have from my ladies and use it into my own soil to help the soil that has turned to dust?
I love that you saw this problem in your own home and your own passion and not only research the solution, but now you're teaching other people as well.
Yes.
So that's incredible. Yeah.
And it's exciting. And also the food that you grow from healthy soil tastes so much better.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Night and day.
Wow.
Night and day.
My kids go to an ecology charter and everything they bring home is so delicious. And I have a feeling it's because their teacher knows what's up about the soil.
Yes.
Something that does not happen in our backyard.
Soil.
I can't grow anything in our backyard also, fruit wise, because my bunny goes to town on everything we try to grow.
Yes.
So your business is really focused on teaching people how to garden using regenerative agriculture techniques, which you mentioned. What is that? What is regenerative agriculture?
That really is going back to the cycles of nature. Similar and really exactly what the indigenous people did hundreds of years ago. They were doing it right. They didn't deplete the soil. They didn't plant the same crop in the same area every year after year. They would move them around. They would plant a cover crop which this is actually what this is.
Oh, okay.
2 different types of cover crop from my own personal garden.
Wow.
And what this does is helps during the winter months. It grows down into the soil. You put the seeds out in the fall, and then all the rain helps water the garden. It creates the soil sponge that then all the roots go down.
Right.
And they not only do the plants that are growing pull down excess carbon from the atmosphere. It's that drawdown method, but it creates this living biodiversity in your soil.
That's amazing.
Just in this glass, there are worms and
bugs.
And
I think I see one.
Yeah, when I dug it out, they were like, "Where are you taking me?" So
that's amazing.
Where are we going? I was like, I'll bring you back.
Don't worry, babies. You'll be back soon.
I will put you right where I found you. So during the winter months, all that rain is now stored in the soil.
Oh, very
It fills up our groundwater stores. Versus if you think about a plate of pancake flour or just all-purpose flour.
Right.
If you pour water over it, what happens? It pools off.
Right.
It runs away.
Good point. So
Whereas if you have two pieces of sandwich bread and you put it down and you pour water over it, that acts like the soil sponge. The water doesn't go anywhere. It stays right there.
And so this is helping kind of nurture that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
does this go away? Like, let's say you're like going to plant your crops. Does this go somewhere? Or do you just plant with this, or does it die off?
In the springtime, we will cut it back
to
a couple inches to the ground, and then I will literally dig a small hole. So this is something that farming industry, what do they do in the Midwest? What do they do in the Central Valley?
Right.
They till.
Yeah.
Dust everywhere. There is no plants. There's no living matter. That is just purely dust.
Wow.
When we till, we are killing and destroying all the biodiversity that lives there. So the part of the regenerative farming techniques is no till. It's no bare soil.
Which is probably good for like insects and animals that live there.
It's good for all the animals and life that wants to live there. Good for the animal, butterflies, bees. There's so much more pollen when we have flowers that are growing for them in healthy living soil. So in the springtime, when I'm going to go plant our summer garden, I will cut this back. So it's probably just an inch. And then I will dig a small hole instead of ripping it all out and turning it over. I will just dig a small hole, and then it will slowly decompose and add more nitrogen to the soil to my tomatoes, because they're a really heavy feeder of nitrogen. They need
I know none of this. I told you I know nothing.
They just love food.
Yeah.
So, and then it'll also work is that it still holds all that moisture.
That is very cool.
So it's all that organic matter that lives in the soil.
I just learned something major from you, and I'm sure a lot of people just did as well. Wow. Okay. So obviously the benefits of this, it's for, all of the insect life we were talking about. What about for people? More nutritious fruit?
So the food, any food that is grown in using the regenerative farming techniques, nutrient density is so much more.
Right. That makes sense.
There is so much more added nutrients, and it tastes better.
That is crazy.
The tomato, like even my neighbors who will come and pick tomatoes out of my garden, because it's we have a front yard garden.
Which is hence the name.
Yes. So because it gets full sun, that's why our garden is
that's
there.
why your garden's in the front.
Yeah.
That would be our house too.
Wrap around the whole house. Fruit trees and
great.
And then I made a walking path for the deer to invite them in.
Oh my gosh, you are so cool.
Oh, okay. They were like, "Oh, thanks. We're gonna just eat all your
my gosh,
plants."
we're gonna see. It's like my bunny.
Yeah.
So ours would have to be in the front yard too because of sun. Because this is something my husband and I have talked about doing. I was telling him about you coming on, the sun, and then also no animals from our family at least eating it. So you come in and you work with homeowners to help transform their existing gardens or start a garden. How does that work? Kind of tell us a little bit more about the business.
So it really depends on what the client needs. I have some clients who are like, "Caitlin, can you just come out and tell me, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I literally have a black thumb."
Right.
And what I say to them is, "You don't have a black thumb.
You have
unhealthy soil.
Wow.
Your
That's
soil
amazing.
is unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's not you. Let's not blame ourselves."
Oh, that's so interesting.
It's not you. It's that you have unhealthy soil.
Huh.
So, and you don't have the right techniques of what to plant and when to plant, and it needs full sun or it doesn't want full sun, or so for clients, so I recently did a full service. So it really depends on what the client needs. It goes from like a full service where we'll do an install.
Oh,
where
wow.
I did a path and we did raised beds and we added the soil and then I planted all the pollinators. And within minutes of me planting the pollinators, butterflies. Literally, I planted 3 of we probably planted 75 plants, 100 plants. 3 of them were in the ground, and a hummingbird came over and was like, "Oh, thank you."
Are you kidding? I need this in my yard right now.
Yes. It was I sent a video to her. She's like, "Oh my God."
That's incredible.
It was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
So, and then I have other clients that are like, "Can you just come and walk around my property and teach me how to take care of my roses?"
Right.
And teach me, like, we have all this weed cloth and I know that's not good, or there's plastic.
Okay, I did not know that. All right.
So I want to remove that, and what should I put down in place of it? So I will walk around and just do a consult, and then they'll text me and like, "Caitlin, can you come for a couple hours and help me replant the front yard?" Like,
wow.
And do that. So they actually want me to physically help them. There are other clients that just want to like, here's my plan, or
Right.
or I will come up with the plan, and then I will install it, and they're just happy. So happy to enjoy it.
So anything like from a consultation to like a full install,
Yes.
and anything in between.
Yeah, anything in between.
That is
like,
so
can you
cool.
come for an hour and teach me how to prune my roses? I have another client that was like, I inherited all these plants and I don't know what they are and I don't know what to do with them.
Right.
So, and I would come out and just like, okay, let's, and teach her or him how to take care of it.
That's amazing. And so amazing for our community too, to have that. What a benefit. And then just to clarify too, obviously yours is in your front yard because your son. If I do this, it's going to be my front yard for the similar reasons. But people could use a little tiny side yard space or their backyard
Yeah. I had another client recently that was like, I just want you to come. I just want you to go. You just do your thing. You go buy all the plants and put them out. And then her and her husband were going to plant them.
Wow. Very
so
cool.
I went to the nursery. My husband actually came and he was like, oh my, and it was like 3 carts of plants. He's like, what are we doing? Like, this is, I was like, oh, no. And then I put everything out and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
How cool. So you mapped it out for them.
Yeah. Wow. That was just like an hour and a half of my time.
I see all these hacks like on Instagram of like quick ways to grow your plants. And now I'm hearing you. I'm like, I could just have Caitlin come.
Yes.
Because I've seen like those sheets you lay over in your bed, or I've seen that, I can't think of the name, where it's like a big like growing machine, then you put the little pods in. I don't know if you've seen all that, but I've been so tempted by all of that. Yeah. But I think it would be better.
I think that's
just to bring you over.
That's overcomplicating it.
It really is.
No,
I'm sure
really
it is. Yeah.
And as you asked, you were like, oh, I didn't know that about the plastic and the weed cloth.
Yeah, not a clue.
We want the reason why that's not great. Certainly I use weed cloth if I'm going to put down a path because I don't want weeds.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want anything growing there over the rock. But I never use any weed cloth in any other part.
Where your food is going to be.
Where food is going to be. But also I want the water. I want the roots to be able to go down.
Okay.
Even in my front yard, there is a fair amount of weeds.
Right.
But I'm letting them be because that's helping the soil absorb all the water.
I don't feel like all weeds are that ugly either.
No.
As long as they're not like overtaking.
I definitely
like, what do your neighbors think? No, I'm just kidding.
Not thrilled with it, but it's easy to get out.
Yeah.
And it's right now holding in
totally.
all that.
Totally. That is so cool to me. So when you meet with these clients, you can kind of see their yard spaces, kind of give them ideas of how to transform it, or you can come in and do a full thing with them. I think that's incredible. What kind of crops and produce do you typically grow? And also, like, how do you know what to plant? Where?
So it depends. The first thing I talk to clients about is like, what kind of food do you like to eat? I would never want to suggest something that they don't like.
Great point.
So I had one client, she's like, I don't love a lot of fruit. She wanted a lot of cabbage, a lot of Swiss chard, and tons of herbs.
That is very cool.
But no tomatoes. This was going in the summer. And I was like, okay. That's
right.
So I often ask what they want to grow. If they have kids, I always suggest regular corn, just corn that we would eat. Yeah, takes tons and tons and tons of water.
I think I have heard that actually.
Tons of water.
Because our kids would totally eat corn, but it takes a lot of water. Okay.
So one that's really great to grow with kids and doesn't take very much water is glass gem. It's that heirloom corn, and every one that you open is like a Christmas present. They're all different.
Oh, that's cool.
And then you can dry the corn and make popcorn.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and it takes not, just a standard amount of water, not like a ton of water.
That's good to know. Yeah, will you teach people that too when you plant it? Like, this needs this much water. Yeah.
And I will even make notes of like, so when I come out for a consult to first look at a property, we will walk around, any specific area that the client wants us to focus on. And then that consult includes a whole typewritten information of everything that we talked about and all my suggestions. And everything is included because you're not going to, no one's
You're not going to remember it. Yeah. I know. Even just when I go over across the street to Flourish and get like a new plant, I'm like, okay, where on the little meter does this need to be? And I need to make a note on my phone because I won't remember. Totally. That's so cool. So can you share like any success stories or memorable moments that have really stuck out to you? I know your business is a little bit newer. Yeah. How long have you been open?
It's just a year this February.
Perfect. Oh, congratulations. Yeah. That's exciting. Yeah. So anything that's really stuck out to you is like a memorable, exciting moment?
I think the biggest thing is seeing, like I referred to, seeing that I was alone in the garden, just planting away, quietly listening to a podcast or whatever, or music.
Yeah.
And just out of nowhere comes hummingbirds and butterflies. So cool. I think that is the most just coming into like, we see you. Thank you.
So rewarding.
So rewarding. And even in our own garden, I was like, needed a vine to kind of grow up against our house in our backyard. And I didn't want like a jasmine because they just take over.
Right.
It smells so good.
So good. Yeah. We have a little bit of jasmine in the front. I don't maintain it, as we can guess.
Yeah. But
someone else does, though.
So we planted a passion flower vine, and now we have the most gorgeous, huge flowers.
Oh my gosh.
But more importantly, we have probably, I want to say 100 at least crystallises.
Wow. No way.
We have a whole family of butterflies, and the butterflies are constantly coming in when we're sitting in the backyard.
That is so
laying
cool.
their eggs on this vine.
Wow.
It's just I'm constantly telling the neighbor kids.
Looks like maybe I need one of these plants.
They're beautiful.
Oh, how cool. Yeah. That is really
constantly
cool.
telling the neighbor kids, come over, like you have to see all these
and where they're at now too, like the stage that they're at. And
and you can see the little eggs, and then you see the tiny caterpillar, and then you see them get fatter and fatter, and then they hang themselves up.
Wow.
And I'm like, you need to move,
Totally.
And in the most precarious places.
Right. Oh,
like,
I'm sure.
This is a little dangerous.
Yeah. This was a bad choice.
Yes.
How many weeks are you going to be here for?
Well, they're all along this giant raised bed that we have. Just on the outside.
Oh my gosh. Do you have any pets? Like, do your pets disturb them or no?
Yeah. My dog doesn't.
Okay.
She likes to watch the butterflies go lay the eggs.
Oh, how cool.
And so she'll climb up and look at them.
And watch them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cute.
She's like, oh my God, butterfly.
That is really, really cute. So we hear a lot about sustainability in modern agriculture. How is this different from the regenerative agriculture that we were talking about?
So when we say sustainability, we're saying stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
And we cannot stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
We have to change the way that we farm.
Okay.
On a collective, conventional scale, that means massive amounts of farmland. Think about the drawdown of carbon that we could have if everyone was using regenerative farming with this. And there are definitely big commercial farmers that are. There's a fair amount. But we need to get the word out more that this, because it actually financially is incredibly beneficial for them as well. They can make more money.
Oh, see, that's
it's better for them. Less cost on no pesticides. You don't need pesticides because you have natural things happening in your soil.
Is that the same for like vineyards as well? Or
yes,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. There's a lot of vineyards here locally that do that you do cover crops, and then they also have the animals come in. I've seen pigs, sheep come in. Obviously, it's not when the vineyards are have grapes on them.
Right.
It's in the springtime.
Interesting.
They trample down the cover crop, eat the cover crop, obviously lay waste. It turns over the soil.
Can I just say how much I love where we live, by the way, that we have like, let's just borrow these animals and bring them in, or like over, I can't even think of what park it was.
It's Helen Putnam.
That too, but also I think it was like right on the east side. I think it was Delaware now that I'm thinking about it. And there's all these sheep roaming around. Like they just fenced them off and said, please don't disturb them. They're just doing the landscaping for us.
They're just working.
This is Sonoma County.
Yes. Well, didn't you hear about them? I think they escaped and ran down I Street.
Are you kidding? Oh, I did hear about that. Yes. I saw some photos of that.
Yeah. Escaped and ran down I Street.
Welcome to Petaluma. It's funny. Like my kids' school used to have chickens all the time all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, all right, don't take their sandwich again today.
Yes, seriously.
So funny. Can you share any tips on how to build a sense of community through gardening and local food production? It sounds like in your neighborhood alone, you're already doing that.
Definitely in our neighborhood, we are. I mean, we live in a very, very special neighborhood. But I think just collectively working together. I know Petaluma Bounty does a lot of these regenerative farming practices.
Amazing.
Shopping local at Jupiter Foods down the street here is phenomenal.
Great point.
Yeah, Dan is the food that I get from there. If I can't grow it in my own garden, I'm buying everything that he has in that store.
Brilliant.
Because it tastes so different. But he has done all the work. To know the farmer, to know what kind of water they used. Did they take water that was not necessarily theirs? There's a lot of issues happening in the Central Valley about that.
Right.
But he knows what techniques and how the employees were paid.
Amazing.
And then the food. I mean, my daughter and I were literally craving carrots.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got some from Jupiter. And then she and I both, like, my husband's like, I've never seen someone get so excited about a carrot.
Oh my God.
And
my kids should live in your house.
We were eating them.
Them.
Like, she's like, oh my God. They were so
because they're so exciting.
Yeah,
they were so speak our language over there. That's so my kids. They get so excited about like produce.
Yeah.
I mean, I do too,
stuff.
But like, but they are like, yes, carrots. That's so funny. I'm going to send them your way.
Yeah.
It was funny though, because I don't go to Jupiter Foods often and I pass it and I'm like, gosh, why don't I go there more? It's literally a hop, skip, and a jump away from the office. Just walk over on your lunch break.
You will not. I mean, everything that I've gotten from there, I bought some soy sauce, which I was like, soy sauce, like soy sauce is soy sauce.
Yeah. No. Wow.
I cannot buy the stuff from the regular store anymore because this is real soy sauce.
What are their hours? I might walk over after this recording.
8 to 5.
Okay, I'm going to walk over.
They're 8 to 5, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
What are we today?
They're closed Tuesday.
Awesome. I'm going to walk over there.
The Eastside Farmers Market.
Amazing.
So
that's so cool. I love that. I think, and also like you're saying too, within your neighborhood, what I'm envisioning like for my front yard, if we do this, is doing it in the front yard for the reasons we mentioned, but also we have such a close-knit neighborhood. I would love if as they're walking by with their strollers, they just grab whatever from our garden, like, and everyone can just enjoy it. I think that would be so cool. Or like just to see people out in your front yard, you know, picking whatever it is that you're growing and then have those conversations. Like it's so special.
There are people that walk by all the time and they're like, oh, I love seeing you out in your garden and seeing all the things that you're growing. And they've seen my kids get, you know, bigger and bigger. My son was like enamored and loves to help me in the garden. Now he's a teenager and doesn't, you know.
Someday he'll be back
I'm going to pay him. He's
not
into it. And my daughter has never really been.
Right.
Like, she's
Like,
That's
like, so funny.
Although she loves all the worms. And, like she wants to, you know.
For sure.
Bring the cat out and like hang out with me.
For sure. Like who wouldn't like that part?
But it's definitely created a community and people will come. Like I leave vegetables for neighbors. I know a neighbor who walks by and her dog loves tomatoes. She will always pick the Sun Gold tomatoes for her lab. And I'm
her lab likes tomatoes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I've ever given my dog tomatoes, and now I might try it.
Yeah, she loves like she will beeline over to my
that is
yard
so cute
and keep me company in the garden. Yeah, she's
I love that. That's amazing. Do you have any future goals or plans for Luma Front Yard Farming that you want to share with us, or any exciting developments?
I think the biggest thing is just getting the word out and letting people know that we're here and we can help them, and that regenerative farming is the key to helping our planet crisis that we're having.
Right.
And also the food, making sure there's enough food for everybody.
I think that's really an important point that gets missed a lot. Yeah. I think that's really, I'm glad you mentioned that for sure and shared that, because I, you know, when you watch documentaries, it's like a realization too, like these are things we can grow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is and it is cost effective. Most children love to be like hands-on. How much more excited are they to eat something that came from their garden than, oh, we got this at the store? You should do classes for kids. Is that in the works ever, you think? Or? Definitely, I would be open to it. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. Sorry. No, please. In addition, I am going to do something that I've been thinking of. So we used to have chickens in our backyard, but I had them living just in one area. They were not moved around. And as you can imagine, their waste piled up. I cleaned and cleaned and cleaned, but there was 8 or 9 of them. But we loved the eggs and we loved them. They were our pets. I did give them to another woman. Now they're living their best life, roaming like a fruit orchard. So awesome. Like they're still in Petaluma, but we miss them. Yeah. But I'm trying to figure out a way that I can use some chickens in my front yard to rotate them to different areas so that they can turn over the soil, leave their waste, do help with the biodiversity, help to add more things to the soil. So we need to find a rent-a-chicken company. Well, I'm thinking about getting a little chicken tractor. A little what? Say that again. Chicken tractor. Stop. It's so cute. Which is like a movable coop is what it is. That is so cool. In my front yard. Does it already exist? They are, but not in this. Like I really, I live in downtown Petaluma. Yeah. I think our whole plot land is like maybe 4,800 square feet.
Right.
So, and then part of that is our house.
Yes.
So
I can look it up for you if you want your actual square footage.
So it's not much. So,
right.
And a lot of it is planted. So so I'm just trying to figure out if I have enough, but I also, then I have several neighbors who have said, oh, I want chickens.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm debating on whether I could move them to like a few because they have more space.
Yes.
Because they can only be in certain areas for a certain amount of time before they leave too much waste, and then it's going to hurt the soil. So you have to keep them moving. So
you have to keep it in different locations throughout the yard.
Too much nitrogen.
So a tractor, a chicken tractor.
A little chicken tractor.
That is so cute.
So keep you
all of your ideas
on what I find out.
Please do.
Yeah.
And I need like a visual. I need pictures as well. That's amazing. So kind of coming off the business, everyone's favorite question. If you are open to answering it, what are 3 fun facts about you personally?
I love supporting local business.
Yeah.
That's really like anything that I can get locally, the Refill Mercantile.
Yes.
Of course, Jupiter. I already can't,
you're like excited talking about them, which is awesome.
Yeah, because they're part of the equation.
Yep.
Using less, consuming really good food, and reusing less plastic, less waste.
Yep.
And that is all kind of with our values.
I love that.
Luma Front Yard values, but also our personal values. Another personal thing, I volunteer at when I'm not doing soil, I volunteer at a horse rescue.
I didn't know that.
Rescue a couple times a week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I get to, and I'm animal obsessed. So
that's incredible.
If I could fit one into my garden,
I
would.
Let's figure out 4,800 square feet. Can we
Hence, I'm trying to get the chickens because I'm like, I miss my little lady girls.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's amazing. I love that so much. At the end of each episode, I like to ask if there's anyone you want to give a shout out to or a thank you to for helping you with your career.
I don't know that it's a thank you for helping with the career, but I think just me continuing to shop. I know I've mentioned it quite a bit, but continuing to shop at Jupiter, I've become very good friends with the owner.
That's
and
so
he and
cool.
I can talk regenerative farming and food production and also the livelihoods of the people who are growing the food all day long. And it just constantly inspires me. So I really appreciate him for just always be I don't just go in there for my food. I'm going there to talk shop.
Yeah.
And and also just we are on the same page of what we believe that this can do for the community, for the planet.
This is what I love too about our little town and the small businesses in it. That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Lastly, if anyone's interested in using your services or just wants to talk to you, where can they find you?
They can find us on Instagram at Luma Front Yard Farming.
Great.
Also on Facebook, same thing, Luma Front Yard Farming. And then at our website, lumafrontyardfarming.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming in today and educating me a little bit on this incredible subject, because I definitely love to eat. Everyone that knows me knows I love to eat and I love food. I just have not been super skilled at growing it. So hopefully you can help me with that.
Yes. I would love to help you. That would be fun.
It would be so fun.
So fun.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, please be sure to like and subscribe. Learn more about Sonoma County and all that we have to offer here.